Abusia Blakk Rasta abedin komo. As I would say the official NPP party member. All because of Ken Agyapong. We be through massive support for Ken Agyapong. Now Anas Arumia case no. We be open more fire on Anas. Aha Penyah Block Media. Mess was any demo. Over like video no other room. Over subscribe button. Subscribe click the notification icon of latest updates. Na betre wa adwen dia mama e wo comment section. Mess over so. Na she be more so enya bi ahwe. We be follow Blakk Rasta per year. The one Blakk Rasta hate NPP party the most. Eye Baumia in person. Baumia de minima dia. Minima dia Baumia de Blakk Rasta. Blakk Rasta tie Baumia to the film from just a wood chini. What ti Baumia din kwa no bibi ya ye. What ti de din Baumia. Mamudu Baumia na bibi ya ye Blakk Rasta. Wo dwa din Baumia wo dwa din no. Se daye mu kra what ti Baumia din a. O popitri sorry. Then we dwa pai. Now was out of nowhere. Blakk Rasta wedding come on. As now Chiromsa say or your official NPP party member and his support in Nana or through massive support to Ken Agyapong.
Ken Agyapong would unseat Baumia. Hey, who is saying that? Prophet Bernard Nelson Eshan. Before I came into the studio, I gave him a call. He didn't answer. A lot of the times, he's too busy, so he hardly answers calls. Sometimes he calls back, and I do understand. He's one of the hottest prophets in Africa. This man can give you a whole genealogy. Your grandfather's greatest grandfather's grandfather's uncle's brother's sister's uncle. From 1201, he will bring you down all the way to the present time. I love this prophet. In fact, you can't be fake when you are dealing with Prophet Bernard. Now, during the last elections, he came out categorically clear, better still, crystal clear. And what did he say? He said Mahama was going to win. And he also went ahead to say, you know what? Hey, I saw Mahama after winning the elections. He came to me and said, I've won the election, but my vice president is not with me. She's dead. He said it before the elections. And he also mentioned the percentage Mahama would get. And he even mentioned the day the results would be mentioned. And everything came to pass. My brother, my sister, whilst other people were saying, oh, there will be war in Ghana, people would fight, he said that it would be as peaceful as possible because the winner would come out clear. And it came to pass. In fact, one of the very first times I got a prophecy, because I was never interested in these prophecies and all that, you know, a radical Blakk Rasta. I got that prophecy from this man. That's about 8-9 years back. And he told me where I was born. That not many people know. In fact, the time I was born. And then, to shock me even the most, what happened to me when I was 2 years old. I didn't know myself. I had to call my mother, who was alive at the time, and she confirmed every single thing. And he told me more. And everything came to pass. From that time, I embraced the power, oh my God, that has been put and bestowed on the head of this guy. Man of God, more anointing on your head. Oh Lord. This is Bernard Nelson Eshan. He's a Takrady boy. His brother, elder brother, was also a prophet, and he's still a prophet. And he told us how he himself became a prophet. He wasn't interested in it. He wanted to become a professor. But at the university, he was hit with the storm of the prophetic, and he had to accept it. I think he's even enjoying it more. Interestingly, he's never sat in an aeroplane to fly to any of these foreign countries. He's always here in Africa, never flown outside Africa. I don't know why. He's one of the hottest prophets of the land. And he has spoken again. He has told us who is going to win the primaries of the NPP in the 2028 elections. This is Bernard Nelson Eshan. Run it, my lords. Watch the story. is coming hot. Ken Agyapong will be NPP's 2028 flag bearer. Prophet Bernard Nelson Eshan predicts. Run it, my youth. Watch this. Now, the General Overseer of Spirit Life Revival Ministries, Prophet Bernard Nelson Eshan, has shared a vision predicting Ken Agyapong's emergence as the new Patriotic Party's flag bearer for the 2028 general elections. In a Facebook post on May the 10th, 2025, that's 2 days ago, Prophet Bernard described a spiritual experience where he witnessed initial party deliberations and doubting Agyapong's leadership capabilities. However, the vision revealed a strong support from the youth, rallying behind Agyapong, leading to a nationwide movement that eventually swayed party elites to endorse him. I will see and hear a confidential discussion among the elite, prominent figures in politics and members of parliament. They will be deliberating, asking, can he lead our party? Does he have what it takes? And many among them will say, we will not support his candidacy. I will see a group of passionate young people who have embraced the vision and message of Ken Agyapong. They will be energized, rallying others to join the movement. It will grow rapidly, with youth from all political backgrounds uniting around him. Some would even leave their former parties, seeing their future in his leadership. He wrote, according to Prophet Bernard Nelson Eshan, this strong movement by the youth will eventually lead Ken Agyapong being the major flag bearer for the NPP in 2028. Dash it. Remember, he said he would win the primaries. And when you read it further, he said, you want to know too much, but God hasn't revealed to me that he is going to win the main elections. My brother, my sister, for now, he will win the primaries. And Ken Agyapong seems to be poised for action. As for Penyah, he stands no chance. Who is going to vote Penyah? Penyah had his chance and he blew it with lies. Penyah had his chance and he behaved like Gogome. That's that whim that many people think is sexy, dancing offbeat on political platforms. Penyah is a joker. There is no way Penyah is going to win the primaries unless they put guns to people's heads. My brother, my sister, Kennedy might not be your regular politician. He has his faults like many other politicians. He's an off-the-hook kind of politician in the style of Donald Trump. He says anything he wants to say, whether it will destroy his party or not, he will say it. I was with Kennedy a few days ago and he told me, Blakk Rasta, I'm begging you, support me. And the humility with which he said it, and I looked into his face, juxtaposing that with, Mama is a fool! Mama! Meaning say Mama! Oh yeah, unprintable words. To the humble Ken Agyapong that I saw. Is he humble in the face of power? Or does he have a desire that is burning so much for the youth? I see a strong desire, honestly. I see a strong desire burning for the youth, but does he have the leadership skills? Is he the chosen one of God? For now, he has been chosen for his party. And I think it's not a bad decision. Because as for Penyah, in the next election, he will even get 0.01%. The lies were just too much. For 8 years, the arrogance, the buffoonery, my brother, my sister, and now disunity in the party, all because of that dwarf. Ken Agyapong comes to the aid of broke NPP. Remember on this show, I told you that some NPP businesses were unable to pay their workers just 1 month after losing the election. And I mentioned, in fact, some of those outfits owned by politicians in the last government. It was clear that they were making their money from they are being in power. Now that they are out of power, they are broke and they don't have any money to run their businesses. My brother, my sister, today I'm not going to repeat myself. It is very clear that these people in power were milking us and taking the best out of our pockets. Ken Agyapong has come to the aid of his broke NPP party. This is Ken Agyapong. Some people call him the loudmouth guy. Other people say this guy is this, is that. Whatever you put in there will fit in because it's everything. This is Ken Agyapong. I prefer this guy 1,000,000,000 times to the cowardly Penyah. He has his own problems, but it is very, very unassuming that a party that did not pick this guy as the flag bearer is the guy who is coming to the rescue of his own party. What is Ken Agyapong doing? Watch this. Ken Agyapong donates 1 million to NPP to pay arrears owed headquarters workers. Hey, can you see this? Run it by it. Now, former New Patriotic Party flag bearer hopeful Ken Agyapong has reportedly donated an amount of 1 million Ghana cedis to the party. This is according to a report by Accra-based Star 103.5 FM. Now, a post shared by the media house on X on Friday, that's today, April 25, 2025, indicated that the donation was to aid the party to pay the arrears it is owing its workers. Come here. What? And watch this. Unconfirmed reports have indicated that workers of the NPP, the largest opposition political party in Ghana, are owed several months' salaries. Workers of the NPP at its national headquarters have reportedly not been paid for several months following the party's loss in the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. Dash it away. So you see, when they were in power for 8 years, all 8 years, they paid every single person in their party and handled their party businesses. The month that they lost the elections, they started going into arrears. It tells you the amount of thievery that happened in that party. It tells you the amount of favoritism, pluralism, and nepotism, with all the isms and schisms coming together to keep their businesses alive. My brother, if I have to wait till my party comes into power before I can pay salaries, then you must know the kind of party this dirty party is. I wonder how Ghanaians even voted for this party to come into power. A party that cannot even handle its own domestic affairs. Their headquarters is broke. After just 3 months, not even up to 4 months, of losing the elections. It tells you how irresponsible these guys are and how much of bad managers these guys are. If we cannot trust them, or if they are unable to handle their headquarters business, how did we trust them to handle the whole nation? It's a question for the gods. But Ken Agyapong hasn't ended there. He's still speaking. Watch this. It is sad that 4 months after going into opposition, NPP can't pay its workers. And this is Ken Agyapong. Oh, you are. You remember? Last month, I was here talking about a certain radio station whose boss, a cousin of the president, was unable to pay workers. In fact, some of them felt offended. I knew they were going to be offended, but they would be happy to receive the money after the backlash. After saying this, the radio station's boss quickly gathered some money and gave them some 1 month or so. They are still owing just 3 months of being in opposition. Yet for all 8 years they were in power, they never defaulted. They were never in arrears. What does that mean? They were actually milking the people of Ghana, left, right, and center. And my own journalist brethren, radio brethren, are not bold enough to come out and say, hey, this was the issue, therefore let's condemn it. No, they are rather trying to protect such hooligans and dirty agents. Where will the country go? Yet when Blakk Rasta speaks, and then there's some action done and they receive their monies, they are happy. Yet they will condemn me for bringing out these issues. Let's watch Watch what Ken Agyapong says. Bring back the story. Quick! Alright? He says 4 months is actually less than 4 months since they lost the elections. Run the story, my youth. Alright? Former NPP Member of Parliament Ken Agyapong has expressed his disappointment with the party's inability to pay its workers 4 months after going into opposition. Ken Agyapong, a former flag bearer hopeful of the party, said that the party not being able to pay its workers or not having the resources to run its activities was a worry. He, however, indicated that opposition political parties having financial difficulties is a common trend in Ghana's political landscape. It is not only unique to the NPP, but every party, when they go to opposition, they face financial or resource challenges. So I came from Madagascar and I heard the news that for 4 months we have not been able to pay salaries and even money to work. So I decided I'll come and give my widow's mite as a contribution to help run the administration of the party, Ken said at the NPP headquarters in Accra when he was donating money to the party on Friday, April 25, 2025. He added, "We just came to opposition in about 4 months and it's sad we cannot run the party, which I think is not good enough. So my message is simple. I have come this morning to give my widow's mite as a contribution to enable you run the party." That's all. So if people like Kennedy don't come with the widow's mite, the party is dead. What kind of a party is this? Stealing for 8 years, sending the country into oblivion. Where's Nana Akufo-Addo? He should be made to go and sit in the office and watch the result of his carelessness. Where is Bawumia? When they were going around promising Ghanaians, when they were going around being foolhardy, my brother, they never saw this coming. Where is the stolen money? Where is the money under that woman's bed? Cecilia Dapa, where is that money? Edubuahin, Kwabena Edubuahin and the wife, where is the money? Most of these people loot to personally enrich themselves while they leave the shenanigans of the party to wallow in absolute despondency. My brother, my sister, it is what it is, and it is sad. Well, I'm glad that Kennedy has come out to put his money where his mouth is. At least in the next elections, they will see who really cares about this dirty party and who doesn't, and who really wants to support the party and who is just an offbeat dancer and a liar and over garrulous person.
Now concerning Anas Anas, only Kimpon case now is a Ken Agyapong. Etima reigning over Anas. Because we have reference to Iranian as because Budika the Koi. You are charging 80 million amount. Ken FLA appeal saying yen tisi kani mumoso, but a buyer just say from $18 million to $500. Just say technically Anas LUC case. Technically, a Chelsea case Anas LUC, but just say damages fine that's what that came point is $500 and there should be at least. It wouldn't be seen as a disrespect to Anas. What I say, Serbia may as a court no Ebu Anas a court not disrespect Anas. Interim yes say that $500 fine. That's what that came point is yes a party and court as to case required to actually go from $18 million to massa $500 there. Anas worry. Now on that note, I was saying Blakk Rasta. As I share no opinion on that. Or just Anas when you serious.
Puyaka! Watch this. Kennedy reveals hidden Anas agenda in US courts. Ken Agyapong. That's it. I had a conversation with a man of the moment. He's called Ken Agyapong. Only yesterday in an interview, and he broke down what happened in court. He said, Blakk Rasta, I was told by my lawyers not to speak, but because it's you, I'll give you all the details. We all remember Anas Anas was said to have lost the case in Ghana. So he went all the way to America to clear his name. Anas Armiyao Anas told us point blank it was not about the money. It was all about his integrity. But the court in America initially gave 18 million American dollars in damages, defamation, and so on and so forth to Anas Armiyao Anas against Ken Agyapong. Bring the photo of Anas Armiyao Anas. He always goes around with a beaded hood like this. A beaded hoodie like this. My brother, my sister, this is Anas Armiyao Anas. I've met him personally a number of times. He's my brother. I know him. But many people have criticized his modus operandi, how he does his investigative journalism. A court in Ghana said what he does is not investigative journalism, it's investigative terrorism. He was mad that this was said about him. He lost the case in Ghana. He went to New Jersey. Unfortunately, his lawyers may not have known that every state has its own set of laws. Ken Agyapong in court here, wearing a simple t-shirt. His lawyer is in suit, and Kennedy always looks simple like this. I've never seen him wear a suit and a tie. My brother, my sister, yet this is a man who says he is rich, and many claim that he's rich. 18 million. Anas Armiyao Anas granted an interview to the BBC, and he said yes, he will take the 18 million, but it was not all about the money. It was about his integrity. Now the courts have turned around and reduced the 18 million to only $500. Why? From 18 million to $500? Is it an insult or what? This was what happened. Ken Agyapong told me in an interview that Anas Armiyao Anas approached him after the courts asked them to try and sort it outside court, and he demanded 30 million American dollars. This was how Anas appeared in court. In fact, in the USA, New Jersey, to be very specific, where Ken Agyapong is based some of the time. My brother, my sister, Ken Agyapong has been a thorn in the flesh of Anas. Anas has also made him suffer by getting his green card taken away from him by a certain senator who, according to Ken Agyapong, Anas had told that he was the one who killed Ahmed Swale, an investigative journalist working with Anas Armiyao Anas's Tiger IPR. My brother, my sister, watch this. So in court, they decided to go all out after Kennedy refused to pay the 30 million. His wife came in and said, listen, we pay 250,000 American dollars. The Anas side saw it as an insult and decided not to take it. So the matter went to court, and 18 million was given to Anas. Anas now said, you see, if you had agreed to pay me some good money, you wouldn't have gone through this. But Anas, according to Ken Agyapong, was still insisting in court that he needed the 30 million American dollars. 18 million was so small. Kennedy's people were now hot. We're trying to meet Anas halfway. But in that circumstance, Anas insisted that he would only take the matter out of court if Ken Agyapong would pay him 30 million American dollars. Now he had been given a sigh of relief, 18 million. And they were going back to court to demand 30 million. According to Anas, he had suffered. People were threatening his life because of what Ken Agyapong said. According to Ken Agyapong, he played on the emotions of the court. At a point, he was even pretending to be weeping. And according to Ken Agyapong, he also showed a video of Nyantechi promising the president of Ghana some millions of American dollars. Remember when they did that documentary, when Nyantechi was boasting that he would give the president of Ghana $5 million American dollars and $2.5 million American dollars to Bawumia, and then Anthony Cabo would take some chunk of the money too, because they were the kingpins of the criminal cartel. At that point, the judges in America were shocked. And they said, look, and they put it to Kennedy, you are serving under a corrupt president, Nana Akufo-Addo, and a corrupt vice president, Bawumia, and corrupt officials. That's why you are attacking Anas. According to Kennedy, he had never watched the number 12 documentary, so he was shocked. Anas brought a lot of other tapes, and they played everything in court. Kennedy said he was shocked at the way Anas was prepared with evidence to bring him down. And he ended up destroying the name of Ghana as a corrupt nation with a corrupt president. And then, this is the story now. The Bawumia camp started jubilating because Ken Agyapong had fallen 18 million. Okasakra Dodo. It serves him right. Now the money has been sliced to $500. How did it happen? They went back to court. Ken Agyapong paid a total of 52,000 American dollars for this whole case. 25,000 American dollars to the first lawyer, and after the 18 million was given to Anas, the second lawyer took 27,000 American dollars to come in. So the two of them, 52,000 American dollars. And in the American courts, they charge according to the number of hours. But the case, when they went back, they told the judge that in this state, defamation is never given beyond $500. And then they asked them to quote authorities, as we do in court. So they brought the authorities, they brought a whole document, and the court said, well, this is what the court says. This is what our state says. And for that matter, we cannot bend the rules. Then, even though Anas won the case in one way or the other, he is going home with $500. Yesterday, whilst I was doing the interview with Ken Agyapong, he had a call from America. The lawyers were asking him if they should go ahead and pay the $500 from the money, because they didn't use all the hours in court for which he paid. They had some balance to give to him. They just told him, go ahead and give him $500. I wish he would come to Ghana and get it in cedis, because now we are encouraging cedis in Ghana. My brother, my sister, this is deep information. You won't get this from anywhere. This is what we call an exclusive. That's how Anas won the case but lost the money.
How you Penyah Blog Media.